Now we'll get started, Chiefs Kingdom. Let's freaking go. Kyle with the 5-bomb right off the bat. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining in with the tailgate for the Buffalo Bills Kansas City Chiefs game tomorrow at Orchard Park. Mike, what we got going on tonight?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little Chiefs versus Bills. It's a big game. Week number 11. Chiefs are still trying to get over all these injuries. I say trying to get over, but I mean we're undefeated. We're there. It's tiring. It's tiring, but yeah, we're gonna do that.
It's tiring being so damn good, you know?
Yeah, I know, man. We're gonna have Swayze Bozeman, Chiefs practice squad linebacker, swinging by for a little bit tonight. He's gonna talk a little bit about the game, a little bit. You guys can get questions in the chat for him. He wants to meet Chiefs Kingdom. Swayze, we've been big fans of him ever since he's got here with the team over the summer. So excited to have him on. So I guess until he gets here, which will be in just a little bit, we'll just talk with you guys a little bit, talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. Steve, I'll bring this one up if you want to take Kyle off there. Appreciate the 5-bomb, brother. Injury reports come out, final injury reports. So it's looking like Charles Omenihu Pacheco not playing, obviously, but nobody else is listed as out. Everybody else had a full or limited practice. Buffalo cannot say the same. Spencer Brown and Amari Cooper are both questionable, but they're going to give it a go, it looks like. Keon Coleman is out. Dalton Kincaid has been ruled out. And Matt Milano, their linebacker, has been ruled out. So it looks like both teams are relatively healthy, I guess. I guess probably their biggest out for the day, I won't even say it's Kincaid. Maybe Kincaid, him or Milano, but
right. I mean, they got some pretty good pieces that are going to be out. I think Dalton Kincaid is a big piece for them, as long as Matt Milano on defense. And then, of course, not having Keon Coleman kind of sucks too, considering Amari Cooper is a little banged up. So I think the Chiefs are a little better off in the injury department at the moment. Like you said, everybody was full participation or limited participation, and the only two we got out are the two that we expected to be out. So I kind of like the way it's looking as far as health-wise goes for the Chiefs in this one, man.
Right. Let me bring this back up for one more second. Terrell Bernard, he didn't play the last time we played. They're all expecting him to be able to slow down a little bit of what we do in the run game and a little bit of our short passes. We'll see how that works out. He was able to get full practice all week. And then Christian Benford, Kyer Elam going to have their hands full out there on the edges. They're thinking Christian Benford might be able, how's he pronounce it? Benford? Yeah. Christian Benford, they think he's going to shut down D-Hop. I think that's funny. We're going to see when it happens.
Does he own the Tool Time show? Isn't it Benford?
Benford's Tools. Yeah, maybe.
See?
Appreciate you guys being here, by the way. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. 38,278 likes.
Do it.
That's not a real-time counter. I'm pretty sure it's up a little bit higher already since that was just dropped up on the screen. So appreciate everybody being here doing that. We're going to jump in with Swayze in just a little bit when he gets here. Steve, it's been a wild season. I'll say that. I was going to say it's been a wild week, but touching back a little bit on Butker getting injured, having to sign the kicker,
right.
Spencer the kicker, huh? It's going to be one of those things, but I tell you, it just feels like injury after injury. Could we get any? I'm afraid to see what happens this week. Let's put it that way. It's like every week's a new one.
Well, I think one of the things that you're going to be looking at in this game is going to be how Spencer Schrader looks in his debut, right?
Right.
Like, so he's going to be around for a few weeks, so we want to make sure we have a decent, reliable kicker in there. We'll see how that goes. We won't know till he gets in there and has to kick a few field goals. Another thing that I want to talk about tonight: the Bills lead the entire NFL in the turnover margin. So that's a huge deal. The Chiefs have got to really win that turnover battle if they want to win a game in Orchard Park. So I think that's something that we got to pay attention to. And then Buffalo's passing attack, big play team. They're big play, chunk play team. Can the Chiefs keep them limited as far as that goes? And then also spy Josh Allen. Don't let him become the running back of the century on you. And I think we'll be just fine. But also, I think the big key is going to be red zone. Red zone proficiency. Like, are they going to get in the end zone this time, or are we going to be kicking a bunch of field goals? Right. So, I mean, that's the main things I want to be looking at in this game.
You always got to watch Josh Allen. He's good with his legs. He's good with his arm. I mean, he's got one of the best arms in football, and he can get out and run the ball as well. I mean, he's a Mack truck coming at you. It's a day that a linebacker I don't know if a linebacker fears it or if a linebacker loves it. We're gonna talk to Swayze and figure out what he likes. Does he like to play those big boys at quarterback? Steve, we grew up watching a big boy at quarterback. We grew up watching Jared Lorenzen play football at Kentucky, dude.
Yeah.
That's the
Even in high
biggest dude I
school.
ever seen. This dude,
Yeah.
dude, he was 3 of Josh Allen in high school. It was crazy. But anyways, we got Swayze in the house. I'm going to add him in here. Hope everything goes well. Let's see if I got it going. Swayze, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
What's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Steve, we're going to talk to Swayze a little bit today about Chiefs Bills. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the way, coming to the league, getting on a practice squad, being on the world champs, the back-to-back champs, baby, with the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. The greatest. So if you guys got any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them. Swayze will answer them. But Swayze, man, how you doing? How you like Kansas City, brother?
I'm doing well. And I love KC. I didn't really know what to expect when my wife and I got here, but we love it. We're in a good spot, in a cool apartment, and we're just, we're living life, taking it in day by day, and we just can't wait to see what's next.
That's awesome, dude.
How much barbecue have you been eating?
I was going to say, Steve's about to tell you, he's about to ask you the most cutthroat question right off the rip. What's the favorite barbecue spot you've had in KC?
Well, that's a tough one. I think my favorite, because of the ribs, is Q39. I think they have my favorite ribs.
I can respect it.
Jack Stack is good too. We've been there. Joe's KC. We've been to a lot of them, and we like them all, but I think my favorite's going to be Q39.
You're in good company. Me and Steve love Q39. It's one of our favorites. The burnt-in burger, one of the best items you can get on a menu in Kansas City, in my opinion. But yeah, dude, the barbecue question, that's one. That's just one.
That's all we needed, right? All right, you can leave now, Swayze.
Yeah, I think you're done for today, man.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. So, Swayze, we've been big fans ever since you were invited in during the summer. We were rooting for you to make the team. Stoked. You messaged us when you made the practice squad. You're like, hey, guys, I'm going to be in Kansas City. I made the practice squad. That was awesome. We put the news on Twitter. People loved it. You're a favorite. And it's because Swayze is the coolest name we've ever heard in our lives to play football. Swayze Bozeman, that just sounds like badass, dude. Like, was that a name you got made fun of, or did people respect it growing up?
I've never got made fun of for it.
I wouldn't make fun of you.
Yeah, people normally have said it's a pretty cool name. They usually ask me if it's got anything to do with Patrick Swayze, and it doesn't. So just go ahead and go ahead and put that out for anyone who's going to ask. It has nothing to do with Patrick.
That
Swayze.
was a big speculation.
I thought for sure like your mom was like a huge Patrick Swayze fan or something.
No, that's not it. It was a family name, so I was to get it.
That's pretty sick, actually. I mean, I would have guessed Patrick Swayze all day long. That's insane.
Well, here's another thing, though. Who's going to make fun of an NFL caliber linebacker, right?
Nobody.
Like, it doesn't matter what your name is.
This dude's a flat-out beast. Dude, speaking of flat-out beast, you did something at your pro day that no linebacker did at the combine, which I think the highest combine total for bench press was 21, and you threw up 28 at your pro day at Southern Miss, dude. That is insane. And I watched the video just today, and you get 28, and you can't get 29. I think your personal goal you said was 30. And you slam the bench, dude. You're so mad. You punch the bench. You take another on the bench. Everybody else would be pumped to throw up 28, and this guy's angry about it, dude. What was going through your head when you were putting those up? Did you think you were going to get it?
Yeah, so I'd gotten to the point where I knew whenever I stopped, I had about 4 left in the tank, and my goal was 30. And so when I stopped at 24, I knew anything past 28 wasn't super likely. And being that I wanted 30 really bad, it was pretty frustrating when I got to that point. I was like, yeah, that's probably not happening.
That's crazy. Dude, it was fun to watch. And you also ran like a 4.4, which was outstanding. Like, one of the most athletic linebackers in the country. I honestly think you were big time overlooked at Southern Miss. I really do. And I know you come out, your high school team, didn't they just win something? Aren't they going to like state or something? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, they play the state championship next week. Yep, undefeated season.
Tri-County, is that it?
Yep.
Awesome. Look, the football runs deep with Swayze out here, man.
That's right.
Steve,
go,
let's
man.
take some questions from the chat. Anybody got any question for Swayze while he's here? He's going to be with us for just a little bit. We're going to let him get back to his night. But yeah, man.
Let's shout out Greg Goodwin real quick with the 5 bomb.
Appreciate you, Greg.
He said went to Tyson. Hope we play better. I'm sure he's talking about the fight last night. Let's hope the Chiefs put up a little better effort than Mike Tyson did last night.
Swayze, did you watch the fight last night on Netflix?
I did not.
You didn't miss nothing but a loading ring. That's what you missed.
Yeah, that's no good. You hate to see that.
Dude, it was crazy. It felt fake.
I figured it would be. That's why I didn't watch it.
But you can make legal bets on that. Like, somebody's getting in trouble over this, right? Like,
I don't know if it was necessarily fake, to be honest. I don't know. But like,
dude, if you had $1 trillion, you should have threw that on Jake Paul.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. We all knew who was winning
man. You got a 60-year-old man in there. Like, if that was real, shout out Jake Paul for not beating him to death in the last few rounds, because he could have done that.
Tyson said he wasn't done. He thinks he might fight. This dude needs to quit. Dude.
Hey, let's talk about the game real quick, though. Swayze, how much have you kept up with the Buffalo Bills this year? Do you know much about them?
Yeah, we've been watching them all week in practice. They got a good squad. They're a little beat up in the receiver room, but they got Josh Allen at quarterback, so that's about all you need, right? So They got Josh Allen back there. He's playing really good this year. They haven't turned the ball over much, and then they got a really good running back back there in Cook. He can make all the cuts. He's a slasher. He can get to the second level and leave you. So they're really playing well right now. So I'm excited to see what we're going to do tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. You mentioned James Cook. He always tends to have a pretty good game, or he has the last few games we played. That's a big challenge when you've got a running back that can chunk it off like that. Plus, you've got a quarterback, and it's not like Lamar. It's similar as he'll get out of the pocket when he needs to, but Lamar's looking to run. He's fast. Josh Allen, if he takes off, he's a Mack truck. Like, is that something that linebackers, like, do you guys love that? Or is it something where, like, after a few hits, you're like, I wish this big boy'd stay in the pocket?
No, it's definitely a good challenge to have. It's not something that you dread, something you kind of look forward to see if you can be the one to knock him back, because it doesn't seem like he falls back that often. You see him come in on those quarterback sneaks all the time. Seems like they get it every time. And so, if you can be the one to get that knockback on him and kind of send him backwards, it'd be a good feeling.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I want to ask you this. A lot of people want to know things like this, like more like on the personal side, like what's it like to be on the Chiefs, things like that. What is a day in the life of a Swayze Bozeman as being on the Chiefs? Like, is it a wake up super early? Is it practice all day? Is it film? Is it something crazy? Is it very structured, or is it just, just too cool? You just go, you just have a good time all day.
I have a good time all day, but it's very structured. I have a certain time that I wake up depending on what our schedule is, and it's normally probably earlier than it should be, just to make sure I get there on time and have time to do what I need to do and be comfortable doing it. I always like to make sure I get a good breakfast in before really anyone gets there. So I'm normally one of the first guys in the facility, and then it's a lot of meetings and a good practice. Coach takes care of us, so it's not super physical, but a lot of reps, and then a lot of walkthroughs and stuff just to make sure that we're ready to go when the time comes.
Nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
So I want to circle back to the last question real quick when you're talking about linebackers, like in the challenge of someone like Josh Allen, that big, running all the time. So from a fan perspective, a lot of times when you see a running quarterback that's always getting out and looking to run, it's always just hit the dude every play as hard as you can, right? Like, make him pay for running the ball. Is that something that is talked about throughout the week, like as a team? Like, hey, we gotta put a hurt on this dude so he'll think twice about running the ball every play, or is that more of like a fan thing?
We haven't discussed that any. What we've really emphasized is keep him from getting out of the pocket. So he likes, when things break down, he's really good at scrambling and making things happen. So to keep our pass rush lane integrity, and to make sure that he doesn't have those lanes or can escape out the back and then make plays with his legs, and then either extend the play and get the ball downfield, is really what we focused on.
Nice. Tell Spags that we need to focus on making them pay for it too. I'm not talking like the New Orleans Saints, like whatever, the bounty hunters or whatever they were. I'm not talking about that, but I mean,
Steve, you can't hit quarterbacks anymore. What are you doing? You're trying to get penalties.
15 yards is okay sometimes. It'll be worth it in the long run. No.
This guy over here. This guy over here. Man, who's some of the guys that's like taking you under their wings as you've been a Chief? Is there any certain guys on the defense or even maybe the offense? I'd heard Clyde done an interview here lately. He said Travis Kelce helped him since he got in the league. Anybody give you any advice? Anybody taking you under their wing and showed you the ropes, or they just let you out there, hang you out to dry?
Man, the whole linebacker group has been great. They all are just super just upright dudes that want to help you. You know, a lot of times you may think coming into the league that you're trying to take the same spot as the guy in front of you, and they may not want to help you out. But these guys have really taken me under their wing. Jack and Cole and Drew and Nick and Leah. I mean, all those guys are really helping me out. Cam too, just to get perspective of some guys being undrafted and going through the same things that I'm going through, and then also getting the wisdom from the guys that were drafted and been in the league for a while, and just kind of understanding how they do things and what helped make them successful.
Yeah, man, you play with a great linebacker core.
Yeah, they are.
That is one of the best starting three linebacker positions, groups, rooms in the league. Nick Bolton, I want to ask you this. Nick Bolton is a hot topic amongst Chiefs Kingdom. He's in a contract year. I'm not going to make you talk about his money. You're not Brett Veach. But he's supposed to be coming up for a big contract. A lot of Chiefs Kingdom are polarizing. They act like that is a position that can be filled in the draft or filled in free agency for really, really cheap, is that middle linebacker spot. You're a linebacker. You probably take a little bit of offense to that. But what do you see on a daily basis from Nick Bolton that you can tell the fans that, hey, this dude should be a piece for the Chiefs going forward? Like, what do you see out of Nick Bolton? Like, what's he do at practice and everything that, like, reassures these guys that are not sure about Nick Bolton fitting into our long-term plans? Something, because I believe that Nick Bolton is a vital piece of this defense. Spags trust him.
Yeah, he's a special player. He really is. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever been around when it comes to, like, a playbook and just football IQ. I remember, like, one of the first times I got in the meeting room with him, I heard him speak, and I was like, okay, this dude knows ball. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He knows this defense front and back, every position of it, not just his position. And to have a guy that can know what he does along with what everyone else does, and then be able to read tendencies and be able to predict what the opponent's going to do each and every play. The guy can play. He really can. He's got some of the best instincts I've ever seen, and he's just an all-around football player.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's always around the ball. Like, he knows where to be on the field. And you got to love that about Nick Bolton. I'm a huge fan of Nick Bolton. But, there's another guy that's very, very popular in linebacker room right now because he blocked a field goal, and that's Leo.
Leo.
So we heard Patrick Mahomes said that everyone calls him John Cena in the locker room. He seems like a character, right? I mean, he was death row in college. How is Leo? Is he all business, or is he a goofball?
He's somewhere in between. He's not just a goofball. He's about
Nice.
the business too, and he's one of the hardest workers on the team. Another nickname that especially us on the defensive end call him is the Beast, because the man is just like a bull. He's one of the strongest humans I've ever seen, and so he's about the business. He likes to play around and have a good time too. He likes to make pun jokes. He does it all the time in meetings. He thinks it's hilarious, so we all just kind of look at him funny. But when it's time to get to business, he's ready for business.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, man, that reminds me. We ask people this all the time, like anybody inside the locker room. So I'll ask you as well. Who is one of the funniest, goofiest people on that defense that fans maybe wouldn't expect?
I feel like fans already knew this, but Chris Jones is hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty obvious, typical answer, but it is. I mean, obviously the fans see stuff all the time, but even stuff behind closed doors is hilarious. I mean, he's always doing something funny, and him and Mike Pennell are always dancing around on the sideline and stuff like that, having dance battles or something. So those two are really, really funny.
Yeah, I think it was last year, Steve, wasn't it? We had Haley on the show. She had done some locker room stuff and different things. She had said Derek Nottie was a character. She said he was wild, dude. Okay.
That's funny. Back to the game for a minute. You all talked about James Cook already. You all both mentioned him. And I think he's a good versatile player. He's just as good in a pass game as he is in a run game. They utilize him a lot of different ways. But this year, man, the defense has absolutely shut down running backs. Like you guys have played the best of the best running backs in the league already, and just completely shut them down. Didn't let them do anything. So, do you think that's something we can look forward to tomorrow? Is just another really good performance on the run defense?
I think that as long as we execute the game plan that Spags has for us, you should see something very similar to that. Coach Spags has a great game plan. He always puts us in a position of success, and when we execute like we're supposed to, good things happen. And then obviously the plays that go for longer yards, there's a breakdown somewhere, and so there's always something that can go wrong in a play. And as long as we execute at a really high level, I mean, I expect to see another performance of locking down the running back.
Yeah, Spags is a
100%.
freaking legend. You know it.
Spags is on the Mount Rushmore of defensive coordinators.
He's got to be.
He
way
is
up
the Mount
there,
Rushmore.
right? Yeah,
like
he
everybody
might-
else is like under Spags. He's the guy on top, and then everybody's underneath.
Yeah.
Michael Flores asked you a question, Swayze. He says, Swayze, have you had a welcome to the NFL moment?
I haven't had a welcome to the NFL moment where like I got beat or smoked or something like that, but stepping in the locker room or lining up across the formation from Pat Mahomes when you're a rookie is something different. That's a welcome to the NFL moment when you got Pat and Trav and Pop over there, and you're just like, all right, here we go. Let's see how this works out.
Had to be a little intimidating at first, right?
That's
Yeah,
gotta be
it definitely
crazy.
is. And then you don't get used to it, but you just get more comfortable around it.
Yeah, that's got to be nuts, man. Just stepping on an NFL field for the first time.
Right, but I mean, how great is that that's what you get to start with? Like, you're playing the best. You're playing a bunch of Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you stepped into the league, you're across the field from the best to the best. So, I mean, that's an awesome way to start out.
And then a lot of these O linemen seem like they're just as fast as you are. So when you're trying to step into your gap, Creed Humphreys or Trey Smith is coming downhill at you. It's a lot of load to take on right there.
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
those
you
guys
just
are
spoke
beasts.
about offensive line. You spoke about offensive line. And right now, a lot of Chiefs Kingdom is just very frustrated. They think our left tackle spot. They don't feel like it was handled. They feel like Kingsley's not developing well. He's a rookie, man. Like, people are they're ready to give up this day and age. In the Madden age, Swayze, you got about 4 weeks of football, and you better be a Hall of Fame player. They're ready to pitchfork you. So, the same way I asked you about Bolton, what do you see out of Kingsley and Wanye, specifically Kingsley? Because a lot of people are trying to throw around the word bust already, and I think that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely.
What do you see from Kingsley in practice and how he's working on his game, what he's doing when you line up across from him? A lot of people aren't they're not sold on Kingsley being a left tackle in this league, but you see it every day, man. So what do you see out of Kingsley that should make people feel better about that?
Well, Kingsley, he wants to be great, and he takes his job very seriously. And when he doesn't perform well, it really bothers him. So he's really inspired and motivated to be better. And so every day after practice, I've seen him out there getting extra reps, extra one-on-ones, extra just position drills that'll make him be the player that he wants to be. And just seeing that drive, that motivation in him it gives me confidence, should give everyone else confidence that he can really be a big-time player.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that, actually, because like I said, you're there every day. You see behind the scenes. We see what goes on the field. We get a little glimpse into some practice here and there, whatever the beat writers will throw out. But you see it every day with your own eyes, man. So it's good coming from somebody like you that's lining up across from him, and you can see how hard he works. Andy Heck and them, they know how to develop players. I have no doubt if it's Wanye or Kingsley, they're going to be fine. And you guys should know, man. You guys go against them every day. Who's the most stout offensive lineman you guys got to go through?
It's either got to be Creed or Trey. Those guys are stout and they can move. And I mean, when they get their hands on you, it's hard to get them off.
Man, Creed just looks
Big
like
ol'
that,
hands.
like country boy, corn eating strong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Like he'd probably pick you up and throw you like 10 yards if he wanted to.
The only close to welcome to the NFL moment I have was we were doing an inside run fit drill, and I went up and fit up on Creed, and he long-armed me, almost threw me out the club. That was probably my closest welcome to the NFL moment.
That's awesome.
Dude, that it's insane. Speaking of Spags, though, man, Spags is seriously like one of the GO NFL coordinators. I mean, he's insane. What is it like for playing with Spags every day? Like, is he a hard ass? Is he somebody that just, he's very like, he teaches very calmly? Like what's he do? Does he expect you guys to do a lot of film work? Does he expect you to, I mean, what does he expect out of you guys? Because Spags is just epic here in Kansas City, man. We love him.
Yeah, he's the greatest. He is a great teacher. He's a great motivator, and he does a really good job of holding you accountable, and he holds himself accountable as well. He'll come in every Monday after the game, and he'll talk about what we as a defense need to get better at, than what he as a coordinator could have done better in the game. So he's not just telling us what we need to do, what we need to improve upon, but what also he needs to improve upon, which speaks volumes to me that he's not only evaluating us, but he's evaluating himself each game, which not only leads to like a success for our defense, but collectively as a team, we find more success that way too. So he's the best, man. It's really been an honor for me to be able to come in my first year as a rookie and have Spags as the coordinator.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, like I said, like you get to line up against the best of the best, and you also have the best defensive coordinator in the league. So perfect spot to start your NFL career at, am I right?
For sure.
Just real quick, I got a couple of questions for you, Swayze, from the chat. Just a few words on them. You don't have to go into too much depth. Gary Holland says, how do you feel about Noah Gray performance this Sunday?
Oh, dude, Noah is the ultimate professional. If there's a ball that's coming his way, it's going to be caught, and he's always in the right place at the right time. So I'm excited to see what Noah's going to do.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I think Noah Gray has a lot of potential, and there's a lot to him that Chiefs Kingdom has not got to see yet. Like when he starts getting more and more reps, I think he's got a lot to his game, I think.
Yeah, I love watching Noah play this game because he's going to do everything right. He is super technically sound, and he's going to work harder than anyone else on the field and off the field. I mean, he's staying late after practice on the jugs. You see him in his playbook constantly. I mean, the man is just professional to a T.
Right, and he's been playing behind the greatest of all time for a little while, so I think he's learned a thing or two. Richie King says, how do you feel about the running back room once Pacheco returns?
I feel like we're going to have a lot of really good running backs. What it feels like. It feels like we got options for days, is what it feels like.
It might be the easiest question you ever get asked right there.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny, though. I'll bleed it into this. Like, when you see Pacheco in the game, he's always 110% balls to the wall. Like, I don't think he has a chill. Is it the same way in practice? Like, is he always going that hard?
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's one of the first things I noticed, especially during training camp, was just how hard he runs the ball in practice, how hard he goes in drills, one-on-ones, everything like that. I mean, he practices like he plays, and I think that's why he's so good on the field, because he does it all in practice.
Yeah, dude, man. He's a little spark plug for the entire team, I think.
For sure. He's coming back soon. Charles is coming back soon. But we just heard this week, it felt like it was out of nowhere. Harrison goes to IR with a little bit of a knee surgery. I guess they cleaned up his meniscus a little bit. Was that something the team knew about, or was that just something that Harrison dropped on everybody really quick? Or was it something maybe – I heard people speculating that he could have hurt himself on that final kickoff where he missed the ball a little bit. Is there anything to that?
I don't know anything about it, to be completely honest. It kind of surprised me when we got told the news, but I mean, we're praying for Harrison, and we know that he's going to recover fast, and we're just excited for when he comes back.
Nice.
Right. Love Butker, man. He's the man.
He's awesome. Bam says, have you ever gotten trucked by Trey?
I've never gotten trucked by Trey, but we've had some pretty good collisions a few times.
He's a big boy too, though, man. We got Flip with the 5 bomb. He says it might become a hot off-season topic. Opinion: do you all think Leo Chanel will be more in favor once it's time to decide if re-signing Nick Bolton or not? To me, I don't think that has any bearing on it at all. Like Nick Bolton and Leo are not the same type of player to me, so I don't see it, Flip. But I'll let you guys answer that one too, Mike.
Oh, yeah. If you're asking me, no. They don't play the same position. Nick Bolton is just tough to replace, in my opinion. That's the green dot. Spags trust him. Leo, love Leo, too. I'm sure he could get to a Nick Bolton, a potential when he, at some point in the league, but he's got a long way to go. Swayze, you're around him every day. Like, if Nick Bolton were to not be magically on this team, would the linebacker core still be pretty solid, or would you think there'd be a big piece missing right there that somebody like a Leo or somebody would have to step up and fill?
I think we would still be solid, but I mean, there aren't many players in the league like Nick Bolton. I mean, he's a special player, and that's not someone that you ever want to lose in your room. And so, I mean, do I think we'd still be all right without him? Yeah, but I think we're really, really good and a lot better with him. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because they play different positions. They have different skill sets that favor both of them. So, I feel like having both of them on the team would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Different positions, different skill sets. I don't think it has any bearing on it. Nikki asked, Swayze, what's your nickname?
Do you even need one?
I don't have much of a nickname. A lot of people call me Swayze.
Swayze.
Toad calls me Bose, so any of those work.
No one calls
Swayze
you
and Bose.
No
What's
one
your
calls you
wife
a
call
Roadhouse
you?
or anything?
Does your wife call you anything mean?
Well, my wife calls me Swayze.
Okay. Speaking of, if you guys don't know his wife, Macy.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Macy. She's an athlete in her own right. She played soccer at Southern Miss, right?
Yeah, she played at Southern Miss, and then she went overseas and played professionally too.
Nice.
That's pretty sick. Has she ever met Brittany, hung out with Brittany? I know Brittany has a soccer background too.
They haven't hung out a lot, but we've hung out collectively with a group with them before. We went to we were in their suite for one of the Royals games during the playoffs, so that was cool. So they've got to connect over that and talk about it, so that's been cool.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
That's sick.
Daddy Bar says, what's something that you're currently trying to improve on to take your game to the next level, Swayze?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So when I first got into the league, learning this playbook was super, super important just because it was a lot different than what I've been used to. And so now that the mental side of the game is coming a lot easier, the physical part of it I'm trying to improve upon is block destruction and getting off really hard blocks that you're not typically going to get off of. Getting those knockbacks on the offensive lineman and then driving through them to kind of prevent a play from happening or even making a play that you're not supposed to have. So that's probably what I'm working on the most.
Nice. While we're on that subject, though, you mentioned the playbook. So Spags defenses are notorious for being better in the last half of the season. And I think it's because they get a bunch of new pieces. How tough is it to pick up on that playbook? Is that like a pretty big task trying to get Spags defense down?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work. He's very meticulous in what he does, and there's just a lot of stuff that you kind of put into buckets, if you get what I'm saying. Like you'll have different pressures, different coverages that kind of go together and they all marry up. But
Okay.
There's a few different rules here and there that you got to add into it. And so it's just once you are able to compartmentalize those plays into different sections and then realize, all right, if we call this, I know it's in this section. So it's going to be this type of pressure, this type of path, and this is what I got on it. And so once you can kind of group those things together, it comes a lot easier.
Nice. Two real quick ones, and then I'll let you take over, Mike. Josh just said, who's got the coolest vehicle in the parking lot?
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's a great question. There are a ton of cool ones.
I bet there are.
Yeah. Pop's got a Cybertruck, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Why did I know out of everybody Pop would have the Cybertruck?
There's a ton of BMWs, a ton of Mercedes. I mean, there was a Corvette in there the other day. I mean, there's plenty of cool vehicles to go around.
Nice.
How many of those have been stolen? That's a really good question because I heard somebody got something stolen in the defensive room the other day, and Spags had to offer up his car.
Yeah, I don't know. That is something that I don't want to find out because I want to be a part of that.
Yay. Hey, hide your car well. Don
Yeah.
Peterson said, who's your best friend on the team? Do you have like a close friend on the team since you've got here?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, all the linebackers really. I love those guys. I hang out with Jack and Cole and Drew. Those guys a lot. We do a lot together. So those
Nice.
guys have become some of my better friends on the team.
That's very cool. And then Chief KT with the 2-bomb. He says, how locked in does Mahomes seem this week? So
No,
Holmes is always locked in, baby.
He's locked in. He's ready to go. You don't have to worry about that. That's for sure.
yeah, I'm sure that's like topics that we talk about on like podcasts and things like that. But like Mahomes hasn't exactly been himself in game this year. just a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of new pieces on the offense and everything. But like, have you noticed that throughout the year? Like, is he like progressing, getting like is he's trying a little extra hard this year to get back to that normal self, or is he just kind of a guy that's always just routine, working hard, just letting it come?
I don't feel like he's changed anything from what I could tell. Obviously, this is my first year, but I feel like, the dude comes to work every day. He's there early and he stays late, and I mean, he's always talking with the coordinators and trying to improve upon his game. And so when he's there at practice, I mean, from what I've seen, he's locked in and he's giving it his all. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
That's why he's the greatest quarterback of all time, right?
The greatest.
The greatest.
Swayze, you played a little running back in high school, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You ready to step in at running back if we need you?
Man, I'll do it. Running back, fullback, tight end, just put me in there. I'm ready.
Wait, you said
4-4.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We'll take you.
Dude, I'll take that any day. Why not?
You have to come with the same energy as Pop, though.
Hey, if you sign me to running back, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
That's pretty sick. Who do you model your game after?
Oh, that's a good question. Usually my answer to this is like Luke Kuechly, because he's such a brainiac when it came to the field, and I like to pride myself on trying to be the smartest guy on the field when it comes to scheme and football IQ and just picking up on tendencies of the offense. And so that'd probably be my answer to that, just because I love watching that dude play, too, because he played like his hair was on fire. He was always just flying around and seemed to know what the offense was doing every play.
Yeah, he was awesome.
100%.
Man.
Swayze, most important question we're going to ask you, man. We keeping that undefeated streak going tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
are.
Yeah.
I think us and the Chiefs Kingdom are the only people that think that, but I believe it wholeheartedly.
Man, I mean, like national media, and then of course all the butthurt fans that hate the Chiefs now because they're tired of seeing the Chiefs win. It's every week like, oh, they're gonna get beat this week, and then of course how y'all have been winning games this year, where it's like not exactly the prettiest thing in the world, but just finding ways to win, and to me, I think that goes a long way to show like the grit of this team, and the fact that like you guys haven't even hit your full potential yet, and you're sitting at 9-0. So it's just like I think this team could be an absolute juggernaut if everything starts clicking soon.
Yeah, one of the first things I noticed when I got here was that this team knows how to win. You get into those critical situations, put it in the fourth quarter. As long as we got a chance and we got Pat Mahomes, I mean, I like our odds. That was one of the first things I noticed, that as long as we're in the game, I like our odds of winning.
Crazy things happen. And then when Pat doesn't do it, people like Leo show up, block a field goal.
Block a field goal to win it.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
awesome.
Insane.
Well, Swayze, man, we appreciate you coming on. We'll let you get back to your Saturday night. Macy allowed you to come on tonight, and I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful for you coming on, man. It was been fun talking to you, man. We're big fans. We're rooting for you. One of these days, you'll be a green dot on this team, baby.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what we're rooting for. But appreciate you coming on, man. Love to have you back anytime. You're always welcome here. All Chiefed Up loves you, man. The fans here, we're all big fans. When we get out to KC, man, we'll take the family out for dinner for you coming on tonight, man.
There we go. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, brother. We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me, guys.
Have a good one, man.
Y'all too.
All right.
Woo.
Yeah, show some love. Show some love in the chat for Swayze, my man.
Dude, round of applause for Swayze. You know, I didn't even introduce him properly. I was going to say, here comes the baddest man on the planet, Swayze, with a round of applause, but, you know.
Flaked out, man.
I flaked out, man. Swayze was intimidating. He was intimidating, dude. I thought he was going to come through the screen, bench press me. That dude can flat out play football, baby.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate you guys being here tonight, by the way. We'll get to the chat a little bit more here in a minute, but just want to take a second to say we appreciate you guys being here. We're going to get into the Buffaloes-Bills game in depth here in a second, get to some predictions and things like that. But once again, thanks for being here. Hit that like button for us if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. Don't be afraid to get in the chat. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And, yeah, man, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills.
Let's talk about a little Bills football, man. It was fun having Swayze on, but the dynamic's a little different. You know, you're just asking questions. You're chilling. It's time to get fired up for the game tomorrow. So let's talk about what the Chiefs need to do tomorrow, Steve. who do the Chiefs need to step up tomorrow to get that dub in Orchard Park? Because, I mean, we all know it's Patrick Mahomes. You know Patrick Mahomes at the top of that tier. But who else needs to step up?
Well, one thing that I've been saying since he's been here, I'm gonna stick with it. The D-Hop theme here. I think the Chiefs' red zone proficiency is going to be key on Sunday. I don't think you can be kicking a lot of field goals against Buffalo because they're going to put points on the board more than likely. We have a great defense, but they have an offense that can chunk off big plays. Crazy things can happen. They got a lot of weapons. So, and Josh Allen, I mean, he's a handful. So I think that we need to cash in when we're in the red zone. So I think that D-Hop's got to step up, and it's not just him either. It's like you said, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's that connection's got to get together, and then of course play calling comes into question as well. But I'm looking for him to maybe have a touchdown or two tomorrow.
That'd be nice, man. I think Kareem Hunt's got to step up. Travis Kelce has got to have a big game tomorrow. I think our offensive line just got to do better across the board. I feel like the offensive line just got to lock in this game, get it going.
Right.
Flapjack with a 5-bomb. He says, I want to know who has the biggest foot in the locker room, Swayze. And then he said, oh, dang, he's gone.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, we know Chris Jones got it. The correlation there.
He probably wears like a size 22.
Yeah, he's rocking the Shaquille O'Neal, size 48.
Appreciate the 5 Flapjack and the humor, by the way. But yeah, so on with the game. Like before Swayze came on, I was talking about just some key points. And of course, one I just talked about, the red zone proficiency. And then Buffalo's passing attack. So they chunk off big plays, man. They get a lot of yardage after the catch and things like that. So I think that we talk about the receivers, and of course you got Keon Coleman out. You got a banged up Amari Cooper. But I think they have a guy on the team that flies a little under the radar that has had 421 yards after the catch this season, ranking third in the entire NFL, only behind Jamar Chase and Alvin Kamara, and that's Khalil Shakir. I think that's somebody we got to keep an eye on, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's always got plays tough. I remember him coming out. He come out of Boise State. He looked good. We thought that was somebody the Chiefs would look at because he kind of has that similar get him the ball, let him chunk off yardage after the fact, and we just didn't look at him. I thought that was kind of odd, but he's proven he can do that in this league. Look, you don't have Keon Coleman, but I mean, you got Curtis Samuel. You paid him a big bunch of money in the offseason. You're going to have the other wide receiver that they went out and traded for, Amari Cooper, and he might have a cast on, but who knows? Mac Hollins is another decent wide receiver. They'll be fine there. They'll be fine. I think Josh Allen's still going to have enough weapons to be able to move the ball up and down the field. It's going to be a big test for the defense. Where I think that they could get in a little bit of trouble, Steve, is, and this sounds weird, but stopping our offense. I know we've not been the most dynamic offense from front to back. I know that we stall out in the red zone a lot, man. But they've got a brand new defensive coordinator this year, okay? And his name's Babbage. This dude right here is his first time ever calling games against Andy Reid and this offensive coordinator. So Bobby Babbitt's going to have his hands full tomorrow. And this is it's a young guy, never seen the Chiefs in person, never seen Mahomes in person. It's a different game, man, than watching him on film. So I'm curious to see how he calls that defense tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. That's a task for anybody, so especially a guy in his first year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan he comes up with to try to stifle our offense a little bit. But I think the main thing for the Chiefs is just taking care of the football. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bills lead the entire NFL in the turnover margin. They've forced 19 takeaways this season, and they've only turned the ball over 6 times themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the third fewest of any team as far as committing turnovers. So maybe that's where our offense has to focus on taking care of the ball, and obviously our defense needs to lock in, see if they can't get a couple takeaways themselves. But I think he's going to have a tall task on his hands stopping this offense, because I think the more and more that Patrick gets used to his new weapons and Andy gets used to calling plays of how he needs to use them, the Chiefs are just going to keep getting better on the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, anytime you have to figure out how to stop DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce and then worry about Xavier Worthy running 23 miles an hour over there, I think that's a pretty big task, especially with Kareem Hunt that's been running the way he has been.
Right. People are asking if Cooper's going to play. As of right now, he's not been ruled out. So it's going to be a game time decision. But either way, I think he's going to have a cast on his wrist if he plays. He's already said that. So whether he plays or not, the dude's really got one hand. How effective could he possibly be? You know, he might be decent in the run game or something, but it is what it is, dude. I don't think you got to be scared about that. I feel like our defenders are going to be.
I think Trent's going to have a huge bounce back.
Yeah, who's
game
Trent going to shadow tomorrow? You think he shadows anyone, or
I don't know if they'll necessarily shadow anybody because let's be honest, Amari Cooper with a bum hand. I mean, he's a great receiver. Don't get me wrong, but he's only 3 weeks into this Bills offense or something like that. I don't think they have to shadow him, but I do think Trent's going to have a big bounce back game. I love Trent, but he had his worst game as a professional.
I would almost let Trent just guard Khalil Shakir for most of the day. I feel like that's their biggest wide receiver weapon tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a 5 bomb from Iron Price. He says the Buffalo Bills are going to suck it tomorrow. What about that, Mike?
For the thousands here in attendance tonight and for the millions watching at home on TV. Oh, let's get ready to suck it!
Suck it, Buffalo. Mike, we're going to be in their house telling them to suck it. So we're going to be up there in Orchard Park. Just throwing the eggs down, baby.
You remember when we went to San Francisco? I mean, we just kicked our feet up like we own the place. We might do that again tomorrow. Hey, I want to give a shout out. I meant to give this fella a shout out a few days ago. Zach Seiden, I think is how he pronounced his name. He said, just found this podcast. I'm so sad it hasn't been a part of the ones I listened to for a long time. LOL, it's so good. Zach, I appreciate you finding us.
Baby.
I appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the gas, brother. Just wanted to give you a shout out on here because, hey, man, you deserve it.
You deserve it. Anytime you're pumping us up.
And by the way, if you're over on X, we're giving away this tailgate tote bag, okay? We were supposed to give it away tonight, but we're going to go ahead and give it away tomorrow after the game. So we're going to give this away. Foco's giving this away. They're partnering with us. Get over to X, find the tweet that we put out, and all you got to do is make sure you're following us and Foco, and I think you tag somebody in the comments or something. That's all you got to do. Tailgate tote bag, Steve. That thing's awesome. Take it to the beach. Take it to tailgates, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Make it a nice Christmas gift.
Yeah, go to X, just at All Chiefed Up. You can find us over there and do that. Might win that bad boy. Josh Plamona says, Steve and Mike, it's Josh. I have some good news that my eye surgery went good. Since I'm back home, I'll be watching the game to 10-0. D-Hop gets a touchdown. Let's go, Josh. Glad to hear that. I'm glad that went good for you, man. And hopefully you're right. 10-0, D-Hop touchdown. I like it.
Yeah.
Mike, are there any key things that you want to look at? I know I've mentioned a few. And, of course, we got the new kicker, so we'll see how that goes. But, is there anything else that you're just kind of keeping your eye on in this matchup?
You know, offensively, no. But defensively, there's a few guys that I think has got to have a good day. I think our cornerback two's got to have a pretty good day tomorrow because they're probably going to get matched up on Curtis Samuel a lot, right? I think that's a guy that's got a lot of speed, and he can beat you. He was a big name. He was somebody that we looked at in the offseason. We thought was a good fit here. We thought he was our number 2 guy that we should go get after Hollywood. And so Curtis Samuel can flat out play. I think the CB2 is going to have a good day. And then maybe Trent will line up on him a few times as well. But I think the linebackers, Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil, somebody is probably going to, and it's probably going to be Leo or Tranquil. They're probably going to shadow Josh Allen and play spy on him just a little bit if he gets out of the pocket. So I think our defensive line has to contain him. We heard Swayze talking about that. You got to contain him. You got to keep him in the pocket. You don't want him running, man. You want him going east and west, not north and south. That's what you want that big boy doing.
Look, Swayze didn't want to say it, but hit Josh Allen. Hit his ass.
Yeah, you was trying to get him to admit that they had a
no. That's not what I said.
Some kind of hit pull going.
I actually said it's not. I'm not talking about that.
That's what you say when you're actually saying it though.
Not like that bounty gate, but
you're trying to get them to take out somebody out here.
No, it's not even that. But don't you just feel like that's kind of a theme for fans? Is always these running quarterbacks, just freaking hit them, make them pay.
I do feel it's kind of weird that he said that Spags never talked about that throughout the week to be physical.
There's got to be some physicality there. We got players like Justin Reed, Brian Cook, Jaden
Maybe
Hicks,
Spags just knows
Leo
they're going to bring
Chenal.
the physicality. He ain't got to tell him. He ain't got to hype him up about it.
Spags gets in there and he's like, listen, don't be a bitch on Sunday. You get out there and you knock somebody's freaking head
See, but he
off.
ain't got to say that because these guys they're going to go hit. That's what they're going to do. They're going
I could never be a defensive coordinator in the league. I'd get kicked out and Wait, 6
Yeah, I know what
games,
you're
be
doing.
done.
You tried to get Swayze to admit live on air that he was going
No,
to
I
take
didn't.
15-yard penalties over and over again.
I did not.
You were like, look, a 15-yard penalty is not too bad in certain situations. You need to hit that guy in the face.
We don't mind 15 yards there, buddy. It's okay. Go ahead. All right. Well, you know what? We should get to some predictions here.
Yeah, let's do predictions.
Let's do some predictions. I want to see what you guys are predicting in the chat, by the way. So throw out your score predictions. I want to see where you guys are at. Mike, I went first last week, and I'm still kind of figuring this up in my head. So I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to score some points tomorrow. I still don't think they're going to get to 30. I think the Bills' defense is pretty decent. But I do think we'll score some touchdowns. I'm going to say we score 24, 27, somewhere in that range, but I'll stick with 24. I'll say it's going to be 24, 23. I think it's going to be a 1-point game. I think it's going to come down, and I think our field goal kicker might actually get one at the end.
I
think Spencer Schrader might get it.
I like it. You know, I think you're right. So who are you giving the MVP to tomorrow?
I'll give the MVP to Pat. I think Pat's going to throw for 3 touchdowns.
You think there could be a little bit of petty pat out there?
I think he'll absolutely throw for all 3 touchdowns. I think we'll score 3. He'll score for all 3 of them.
I like it. I'm going to stick pretty close to what you said, but I'm going to give them just a little bit more points. Still don't know if they hit that 30 mark. I'm going to say 28-24 Chiefs. I don't think it have to come down to a last second. It seems like every game's come down to a last freaking play. So maybe this week is a little bit different. I still think it's going to be a pretty close game, a hard-fought game. Buffalo's going to come out swinging. It's their Super Bowl. They hate the Chiefs. They're at home. But I think our defense can do enough to stifle their offense. As long as they let up like big chunk plays and everything, I think that we can contain Josh Allen enough, and the Chiefs can win this game. I'm going to go ahead and give MVP this week to Kareem Hunt. I think that he's going to have a big day on the ground. Like I said earlier, I want to see some red zone scores from like D-Hop or even Kelsey, just some big targets that we need to be using in the red zone just to, be more proficient there. But I think that Kareem Hunt is going to play a big role in tomorrow's game. I'd like to see him run for another 100 yards, maybe get a touchdown or 2 himself. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Would love to see that. Would love to see it. I mean, I'll say defensively, I think that the best player on the field tomorrow is going to be Chris Jones. I think you're going to see Chris Jones step up tomorrow. He's had a few weeks where he's just kind of been just there. He's not felt like intimidating. He's not felt like overly like just hugely influential, which, by the way, he's influential all the time. You just don't see it on the stat sheet because he's getting double and triple teamed. But I think tomorrow he breaks through, and I think he sacks Josh Allen. And I think Josh Allen will have to run the ball a lot tomorrow. I don't think he's going to have a lot of time to sit in the pocket. I think that Spags is going to have a very good game plan to get some pressure on him.
Yeah, I think so too. Their offensive line, I don't know a lot about them, but I do know that they are, according to Pro Football Network, are the 6th best offensive line in football. So they're starting 5s: Deion Dawkins, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown.
Spencer Brown's on the injured list. He may not play tomorrow.
Right, that's just the starters. So, like I said, number 6 ranked according to Pro Football Network. Just a little bit about them. It says they reshuffled offensive line this season after cutting Mitch Morse and all that good stuff. So far, changes of work. Left tackle Deion Dawkins remains one of the league's most underrated blindside protectors in all of football. And then, of course, you said Spencer Brown is on the injured list, so we'll see if he even plays. But man, that's something that I think the Bills they strive at keeping Josh Allen clean, and I think that you're right. I think our guys have to get after him a little bit. And just for some perspective on Pro Football Network's offensive line ranking, they have the Bills at 6. The Kansas City Chiefs are the number 2 ranked offensive line in football right now. That's with Wanye Morris at left tackle. So as much as we've kind of got onto the offensive line for this and that this year, and last week it seemed like they had a lot of trouble with the blitzes coming from Denver. I mean, they've still been pretty damn good. Like all year long, the number 2 offensive line in the league.
Yeah, I think the offensive line, their offensive line is pretty good. Connor McGovern's good right there in the middle. Chris Jones is going to have his hands full, but I think that's what's going to make Chris Jones get up a little bit this week and play the game. I think this game should have playoff vibes. It should.
Oh, yeah.
It's away, but people in Orchard Park is coming. This is their Super Bowl. This is their Super Bowl every year. Okay, so they're going to be there. They're going to be loud. The Chiefs have no reason not to get up, play this game as if it's a playoff game. Like if they go out there and lay down flat and they just look like they did last week against the Broncos, they're going to get wiped. Like it's going to be that quick. But do I think so? No. The Chiefs tend to play down to their opponents, but they also play up to opponents. So they kind of, the energy they give.
They're pretty.
The only time they don't tend to do that is when they play the Bengals.
It's pretty steady, right? Like no matter who they're playing, it's always a hard-fought game. Just some of the guys in the chat. Chiefer says 27-24 Chiefs. K. Wayne says 31-14. Would love to see that, K. Wayne. Sam Lofton 24-21. Nikki says 28-21. King Jamie 29-20. Ray 28-21. Gary Holland says 27-20. 30-23 from Rice. Worthy. Let's see, 28-21 from Tony Jarrett. 24-21 Brenda. 24-17 Angry Drunken German. Hippie says 26-21. Yeah, man, I think everybody thinks it's going to be a decently close game. I kind of like what K. Wayne's having to say. I'd like to see a little 31-14 action.
Would love to see that. Would
Hell
love to
yeah,
see
man.
it. I guess we can all hope, right?
Yes, K. Wayne's still here, by the way, because I think we're due a game of Where in the World is
Oh, man,
K.
it's
Wayne?
been a while.
Tell me where in the world is
K. Wayne.
Let's do it. Man, we have no idea. It's been so long since we've done it.
Yeah, it's been a while since
We
we
have
played
no
K.
idea
Wayne.
even where he could be,
K. Wayne could be in Germany for all we know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Can you drive a
don't
truck to Germany?
He'll find a way.
We
Have
gonna
you ever
build
seen
a
like on the
bridge
movies where you
across
can
the
just
Atlantic?
like some of the movies you just drive like a car off into the water and then it like the wheels turn and it turns into a little thing and just floats. Like maybe that's what
Wayne-
happens.
He may invent the first truck that you drive off into the water and then it floats. the
K.
whole
Wayne
way.
says he's been everywhere. Mike, I'll go first. Screw it. I'm down one now. You took the lead back
I
last
did take the
time.
lead back by a petty number one, which I was up by like 4 or 5, and you went on an epic streak.
I did. It was nice. I even hit like the exact spot a couple times.
Yeah,
so.
you and K. Wayne were in cahoots.
We were in cahoots. Nah. Let me think here. That's a tough one because there's just no freaking idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. Last time I heard from K. Wayne, he was heading back home in Kansas somewhere.
Let's see here. Where could OK Wayne be at?
Where was he the last time we played, which was almost a month ago? It was
I
like
don't even
Vegas or something,
remember.
wasn't it?
I don't remember. Let's go. Shoot.
You're really thinking about it. You thought about this harder than you did the Chiefs game.
Well, it's like where could he be at? Where in the world could K Wayne be?
Where could this man be?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay away from the old Rust Belt. I'm gonna go over to Colorado. I'll just say Denver.
Hey, you're going West Coast, basically.
I'll go Denver. We'll just say we'll be over.
I mean, it's
that
not
way.
technically West Coast, but I feel
You
like
know.
K. Wayne don't run to the west a lot.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just a shot in the dark here.
Yeah. I'm gonna say daggone. I'm gonna say St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. All right.
Why not? I don't think I've ever guessed St. Louis. Why not?
I think you tried to pin me in. So
Maybe
you
he's
could get
watching
the
a
entire
Blues
East
game.
Coast. I see what you did.
Well, if I'd done that, I just could have picked like Columbus, Ohio, and been done with it.
All right. Yeah. K Wayne, let us know where you're at.
Jay
Let's see who-
Kelsey said St. Louis too. See, I'm not the
Uh-oh.
only one.
Where could he be at?
Where could he be?
Utah.
Utah. I think you got it.
Oh,
St.
Let's
George,
go.
Utah. That's a wild guess.
tied it up, baby. Tied it up.
St. George is a wild one.
We're back to even, brother.
Have you ever been to Utah?
Mm-mm.
You ever been to U Short?
That's ridiculous. I would like to go to Utah, though. I heard Salt Lake City's pretty cool little town.
Man, I'm sure it'd be nice and boring. Mark Pope, Kentucky coached out there.
I thought he
At
coached
BYU
at BYU. Oh,
in
okay,
Utah?
yeah. Is that where BYU's at?
Brigham Young? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know. I never knew that. I never cared.
The Mormon state.
Oh, Andy could have told us. Did he play at
Andrew.
BYU? Andrew, you in Utah?
Hey, he was in. Okay, look, this is what's going to happen. Kingsley, because of this, Kingsley may come in and make play of the game tomorrow because of K. Wayne being in his hometown.
Hey, did you like what Swayze had to say about Kingsley, though? I think Kingsley's taking this kind of hard.
Yeah. I think Kingsley's proud. I
Giving
mean,
him a
look,
little more drive, a little focus,
his
right?
culture and everything. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
proud people, man. They take stuff seriously. They want to be great. What did he say when he first got here? Nobody's going to touch my quarterback. And
They
then
all
he-
say that.
I get
Orlando
it.
Brown said that.
But I'm just trying to say, man, like that's what he expects. And I think it kind of the game speed kind of hit him by surprise a little bit.
Yeah, that's just a huge step up from the college
It
game.
is. But I
It
like what
is.
Swayze said about him, you know, and a lot of people were questioning that last week. I showed a clip on our video where Mahomes got sacked, and it looked like it was the one where he jumped up and yelled over to Carson Steele, where Carson Steele didn't get over and help. But Kingsley
Right.
just kind of turned his head and walked off, didn't even help Pat up off the ground. And a lot of people didn't like that.
I
rubbed
think
them
it's
the
more
wrong way.
frustration than anything, right? So something I've noticed, I see Angry Drunken German say it in the chat. He says Kingsley's just getting murdered by speed right now. Says he can hold up, but he can't keep up. And I'll tell
I
you, the
mean-
thing about it is Kingsley's one of the fastest offensive linemen out there. He's one of the
Yeah.
quickest, one of the most athletic. But it just comes along with time. When I watched the tape from the Denver game, and he wasn't in there like a big long time, but Nick Benito was having his way with him. And I'll tell you, like, I don't know a whole lot.
He played 36 pass blocking snaps.
I don't know a whole lot about offensive line. I never played really a tackle position or anything like that. But, like, so I don't know any of the technical terms, Mike, so maybe you can help me out. But I feel like it's almost like an angle thing. Like, when you saw Nick Benito on the right side against Juwan Taylor held his own with him. Because it's like, when he got into position to where he needed to be, used his footwork, got to where he needed to be to cut off Nick Benito. Kingsley tends to try to go towards Nick Benito, which is an absolute worst thing you could probably do with a speed rusher like him, because at that point you're beat right off the bat. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, do you think that could
Well-
be it? Just like little things like that, technique, and just knowing how to play this level of game. Like,
Yeah,
I think that could be a
his-
lot to it.
Yeah. The drop step, your initial step that everybody gets mad at Juwan Taylor and says he gets away with it, right? Kingsley's not got that timed up, but that's why Taylor does that, because you got to have that first step. You've got to have it. The thing about Nick Benito, he's always been a speed rusher.
Beast.
They're always going to send him off the left side. He feels way more comfortable bending to the left. So when he's bending to the right, he's not as quick. He doesn't feel as comfortable. It's easier for Juwan Taylor to take it. Left tackle in this league is harder to play. That's why they get paid more. Kingsley right now, if Kingsley were to have to play right tackle a little bit, I think you'd see a night and day difference. He'd be able to keep up better over there.
Yeah.
You don't see as many. But look, tomorrow if he plays, he's going to have to deal with Gregory Rousseau. 5.5 sacks this year, and I think he's tied for third in all of pressures on a quarterback. So if he gets in tomorrow, it's another big matchup. And Wanye's going to have his hands full as well. But we're going to see tomorrow if Wanye. I think Gregory Rousseau is a good matchup for Wanye to see if the knee's going to hold, if how good Wanye really is. Because so far, I mean, when you look at the stats, which stats are only a little bit of it, Wanye's played pretty well, man. I see why Andy's got him out there.
Yeah, I agree. Kingsley, according to the chat, is
Struggling with it.
so. I mean, he'll get there though. He'll get there. It's just a matter of time with him. More reps and getting comfortable.
Did you know Joe Alt, he's only graded this year at a 76 PFF
Right.
score, which is not overly high, which shows you, and I mean, he's good. He's good. But it just shows you how hard it is to go versus big-time speed rushers. And at the end of the year, in our division, there's a lot of good speed rushers in just our division alone. You got Max Crosby. You've got Nick Bosa. Wait, is it Nick or Joey?
Joey?
Joey. So you got Joey Bosa. Oh, I got it. Okay.
You got Khalil Mack.
You got Khalil Mack. And then, you had Nick Benito coming off the edge. There's some good ones, man. So, I mean, it's going to add up a little bit, but it's tough to play tackle in this league. It really is. That's why left tackles get paid so much. It's hard to find them, too.
Absolutely. But a huge game coming up tomorrow for the Chiefs. Maybe the biggest game on the schedule so far. Buffalo right behind them, 2 games back in the AFC to the Chiefs. They've been playing really good football, even though a lot of people, even myself, thought they were going to take a little bit of a step back this year. They've been playing great. So it's a huge game tomorrow. You guys get in the chat with some questions if you have any. We're going to be here for just a little bit while longer. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you have not. Also, just want to shout out our store. We have the Merry Chiefs sweaters and hoodies back over there. So you can go to merch.allchiefedup.com. You'll see that actually pinned in the chat up top, the sweater there. But go grab one of those and you can use the promo code ACU Santa. And that's going to give you 20% off everything in the store up till the end of the year. So make sure to take advantage of that. Go ahead and grab one of those Merry Chiefsmas hoodies or sweatshirts. And that way you have something to rock for the holidays, baby. You have everybody jealous of your gear.
Can we get through one game tomorrow without an injury?
Oh, let's hope so.
You think there's anywhere to bet on that? Like, I'd almost take that bet. Like, it's looking bad this year, dude.
Woof. Mike
Maybe we're over the hump,
Sam
though.
Lofton says I need to bring up Lucas Yang for left tackle. What do you think about that one?
Jeez Louise.
That's when you know you got a problem. Like, damn,
I would almost prefer Chew Godric over him.
I would prefer Cheech and Chong over him, you know? Let's do it.
If it sets how it is, so for example, if the Chiefs had, like, just let's say there's a week 10 NFL draft, what would be the number one need for the Chiefs right now if like there was a draft tomorrow? You could draft one player out of college right now.
They'd take left tackle.
You'd have to take left tackle, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where you're at. Everything else seems to be pretty okay. Just my opinion.
You may take a kicker.
Take a kicker?
You may have to take one.
Well, Bucker will be back in a few weeks.
I know, but you can't be too safe.
Everybody's saying left tackle in chat. New Nostradamus says, hope Juju's hammies hold up. You think Juju's going to play a little role tomorrow? What you think?
He'll be out there.
Brad Parrott said he'd take Luther Burden right now over the left tackle.
Well, you got to think about it. We just had this big discussion about how even some great left tackles takes time to adjust. So if you draft one, is it really going to be that much of an upgrade instantly over Wanye?
Never know. Never know.
Never know.
All right, man. Nick Lowe says, any chance we get blown out tomorrow? I'm going to go no. I think our defense is good enough to not allow that to happen. So,
yeah, the only way you get blown out is if Mahomes has bad luck.
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Yeah, a couple three and outs, some turnovers.
That could be.
Something like that, and we just don't come to play. But I just don't see us showing up like that 2 games in a row. And I think Mahomes, I think games like this, these are the games like Mahomes thrives on, I believe, because it feels like everybody's against the Chiefs tomorrow, and it doesn't feel like we can win the game. Like, a lot of people that's not Chief fans really don't feel like the Chiefs are going to win. I mean, they feel like the time's come.
Well, I think
And
that's
to be
also
honest,
wishful thinking.
Would it be so bad? If we honestly lost the game, would it be all that bad? Like, you lose the undefeated, but at the end of the day, that kind of takes a little pressure off of you, too. I think the longer you get going with that undefeated, that's going to weigh on this team.
Nah.
We watched it in college basketball. You remember the Kentucky team that almost went undefeated and got beat in the Final Four by Wisconsin? A very inferior team. But they started feeling the pressure.
There was some referee problems.
Started feeling the pressure, though, man.
They gave Karl Anthony Towns a bunch of touch fouls in the first half, and there was a lot to that.
You feel pressure, though. I don't know if this team needs any added pressure, though. Just go get the 3-peat. Not really worried about the undefeated season.
No, but they could do both though. That'd be okay with me. Ray says, does P-Ron get more carries tomorrow? Probably not. I would say you'll probably see about the same workload as he's been seeing. For whatever reason, that's just kind of how it's been. So I don't see it changing up tomorrow, Ray. I think Kareem Hunt could have a big game tomorrow, though. I do. I think it's a big key for us. Mike, do you have the spread for the game tomorrow?
If I'm not mistaken, it was 2.5 Buffalo.
Chiefs are dogs again.
Here, I can bring it up really quick.
Chiefs are dogs again? Is that 2 weeks in a row? No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No. Last week was the Broncos. It was San Francisco. They were dogs too. Never mind.
I don't know what it is now. Like, they did start at the beginning of the week. BetUS had the spread at 1 for the Bills, but I think it's moved up to 2 to 2.5 at this point.
It's 2.
Son.
It's 2.
Yeah, I think it's moved up. So see, the betting's favoring the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't think it's going to be the Chiefs win tomorrow. I think just a lot of people are playing hope. People just want to see the Chiefs lose at this point.
That's exactly what it is.
The Chiefs will lose one game. Just say they lost tomorrow to a great team. We're just injury depleted at Orchard Park against a very good Buffalo team, and they would celebrate as if our entire, you know what I mean? Like they would act like we were just the biggest frauds ever.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. Wherever you guys are watching the game tomorrow, whether you're going to be at the stadium at Orchard Park, which would be awesome. I want to see a lot of red jerseys out there, so that'd be great. If you're going to be at home with your family, your friends, whatever, be safe. Have a good time. Enjoy the game. We'll be back tomorrow with the post-game live stream, so make sure to mark that on your little calendars and be here. Hang out with us. Have some fun. We're going to be celebrating a 10-0 victory, I believe. So let's freaking do it. Do us a favor. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. And thanks for being here. And shout out Swayze Bozeman for coming on tonight. That was a good little interview. Had a lot of fun with him. It was good to hear his perspective on stuff. So shout out Swayze. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow after the game. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.